Okay. Jai Hind, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm good evening, good afternoon to all of you. I feel extremely privileged to stand in front of citizens who are passionate to follow their ideas, pursuit of knowledge, and made an effort to come here. You are the real torchbearers of ideas and expertise. Today, I will speak about two major elements. That is something that is very close to my heart, and these two elements make all the difference in today's world for every living individual. When I say living individual, it is not just limited to humans, but also animals and anything else that is breathing. By the end of the talk, you will be convinced of one more thing. Destiny has its way to play its magic wands to show you how the cards of life may unfold, and that will take you beyond your imagination, presenting you some raw stories on the ground, verified and done by myself. But before I go ahead on that, those two elements are volunteering and servant leadership. So, discussing a brief on the same. Servant leadership or leadership, the first thing that comes into our mind is maybe a charismatic figure or something very aggressive or something, a position of command, control, authority, or something like that. But does it all mean about leadership, command and control? Is it all about that? No, it is not. It is about making empathy, active listening, putting the interest of my team before me. And that is where the word servant leadership comes into the role. The word service, servant leadership. Volunteering is that act, that activity, that platform that enables us to execute it better. In all forms of volunteering, we have noticed that we always put the interest of the other person before ours. We always put efforts, forgetting what is our expectation in return, but to fulfill the interest of the righteousness that is required. Right? So, on that pursuit, volunteering and servant leadership are intertwined to each other. Now, growing through school, most of our volunteering activities are more of a participatory in nature, where we participate as an individual. It could be for campaigns, it could be for events or something like that. Or it could be, like personally, I have also volunteered for punishments for buddy. That is a very religious culture. You don't build friends enough until and unless you have volunteered yourself to take a punishment on behalf. But here is the other point. I saw the transformation of all of this after 10 years in school when my principal appointed me as a deputy head boy. That is where I realized that whatever things that have been inculcated by just participating without a thought in acts of volunteering, whether it is education of unprivileged kids or it is education of something else, it was done in the right interest and they have made the leader-like qualities within me. Fast forward, 2010 to 2014, I enrolled into an engineering program for my graduation. There, I noticed that I have been a participant for a while. How about taking some great initiatives? Initiatives of your own accord. Make a difference, make a transformation, and imbibe others, encourage others to pull in. Because what you do at a single level, if you're able to influence it to a large audience, the task is done, right? A minor effort by a single person and a minor effort by 100 individuals results in a mammoth of an effort, right? So 2011 onwards, I started a ritual where every birthday, I go to an old age home, and every days of national importance, that is the 15th August, Independence Day, and 26th January, the Republic Day of India, I go to orphanages. Now, here the thing is, in the orphanages, they have these events, so it is very great to involve the patriotic spirit, the patriotic fervor with the celebratory note over here. But the takeaway is the lessons learned. It's just not about going to an old age home. When you go to an old age home and you spend your time there, you see people are not expecting gifts from you. People are not expecting returns from you, your investments or something. They expect your listening. They just need listener. They just need somebody to sit down over there. And that is what happened 2011, 2012, 2013. My birthday comes in the month of July, and it is synonymous to monsoon. So people, the elderly people over there used to associate that, okay, somebody will come in the season of monsoon with a bunch of apples. I used to take a bunch of apple with me over there, or some kind of fruit over there. And this is how the transformations began. When people in my college got influenced, it made my task easier. Thereafter, it scaled up to multiple levels. So you see, volunteering at the first step creates a transformation at another step when others get influenced. And all it takes, ladies and gentlemen, all it takes is just mindset. There are many people in the audience who are young and are gamers. Now, those who have been playing the game, which involves a lot of action of a single person, right? So we know that all it takes is the will of a single mind. And it is the same here as well. All it takes is the will of a single mind. It is the intent, it is the mindset that you create. Fast forward, 2014, the month of May, I graduated from engineering, but I did not sit for placements. But yes, God gave me a feather in the cap. I qualified for the Indian Army SSB in my first attempt with a merit opening rank. And that is a rigorous process of one of the toughest examinations in the world, where for 5 days they test your psychology, they test what you are. And I cleared that in my first attempt with a merit opening rank from my particular engineering department. But destiny had a different luck, as I say. I was out in the medical grounds, and therefore I couldn't join the army. But subsequently, 2015, now here two things began. Corporate life, work life, because we are working, we have to get a job, right? So working life, and you all know that most of the employment that we have today are into kind of operations role that are 24/7. You are into rotational shifts. But yes, something happened also at an added level. I started writing blogs with a very famous particular website related to the whole community of defense aspirants. And the next day I wake up to find 70 plus notifications in my mailbox, people writing mails of seeking guidance. And that was the second transformation that volunteering made me happen. You know, the transformation from a volunteer to a mentor. And why I say mentor? Because mentors are immortal. The mentoring always ends when you end. Mentoring doesn't have a date. Any kind of coaching program or training will have a date that starts and ends. Mentoring doesn't have a date. So that is where things come into the place. 2015 onwards, while still now, it's been 7+ years, I have been a full-time working professional. At the same time, I have also been a mentor, helping people by means of email communications or call communications or by any means, through their guidance that they needed, be it for careers or anything like that. But that also took another turn, starting 2020. I started becoming a content creator as an educator, where I started my own podcast, and there it started spreading at a different level again. So you see, the simple thing, the one word, volunteering, it made me a leader, it made a mentor out of me, it made a podcaster out of me, it made a content creator out of me, including vlogs. So that is a role that volunteering does in itself. But here is where it doesn't end. Even in the professional domain, you have a higher scope of volunteering. And I am telling about how we can contribute beyond the job description. It is a very common known fact that everybody guides us, that if you are very efficient in the job, you will always get more work. So what? What is the complaint on that? Even if you get more work, it is good because intangibly it is developing you. Your efficiency, your credibility is not just a quantitative measurement, it is your qualitative measurement. And over the 5, 6, or 7 years, you will realize what you have become. You will become a force not to reckon with, right? This is how the role of volunteering comes in. So within your organization, there are a lot of young crowd over here. When you go into your organizations, you will always have a lot of other opportunities as well, where you can contribute. For example, it could be like making the minutes of the meeting with a very design-based flyer or something like that, making the flyer, any kind of communications, or any kind of other activities that you choose about. It happened with me. When I was in my parent industry, during the 2016 to 2019, I did the same. There were all-hands meetings, there were global town hall meetings. I started creating this kind of presentations of the minutes of the meeting. And that was forwarded from my management to other industry leaders of cross-functional teams and all that. And you see, that is how the recognition came in. But did it award me anything? No, because nobody asked me to do. But did it make something out of me? Definitely yes. It made me speak like this today in front of you because I have done something. So tomorrow when you do something, you will always have one thing in yourself, that is confidence, that yes, you have done something. And that is how things work. Now, this is about the personal and the professional part. Now, coming on the conclusive note, that what is the road to go forward? So while I end my speech, I would like to place a call to action to all the people over here. Have faith in destiny, and I'll tell you why. 12th June 2014, there was somebody in the podium of a hall that was in the Bhopal SSB, 22 SSB Bhopal, and somebody called out my name, roll number 746199, chest number 18, Sajal, I recommended. That was a feather in the cap. 9 years, 4 months later, I marked the beginning of my TEDx career as a speaker. My first TED Talk in Belagavi, which is known as the land of the infantry of the army. Belagavi is known for its armed forces, right? So you see, nothing goes in vain. Nothing goes in vain. Everything is intertwined. All you need to keep is the patience, is perseverance, and the pursuit. We had somebody who said about the 3P. I will also like to add 3 more P on that, if you can. Patience, perseverance, and pursuit. That's how I would like to end the talk. And I would like to urge all of you, at your very own level, please leverage something. Leverage your skills, your resources, your hope, your time. And that is more than enough for the world to become a better place. Jai Hind, ladies and gentlemen. It was a great talk. Thank you.